Yeah, the wagyu tri-tip. Look at that baby, right?
Well, it was a nice haul, man. That was like, shoot, almost 50 pounds of fish. Oh, my pizza oven. So the GPS was like, U-turn, U-turn, U-turn. I would just haul ass and bounce right through it. And I said, hey, yeah, I'm calling because, you know, I want to attest to my 7162 form. And she's like, yeah, you know, we can't really do that. Oh, check it out. Boom, I can't really attach a gutter to flowers that I planted on here. Are blooming for about the 10th time. I think, oh my God, it's kind of wet, but I think I need it to be wet. And I just heard a big like, and my wife going, oh. So, and then she called me and said, so, dude, oh my God, it's just one big sponge block, which I guess, I don't know, maybe that'll even work better. I used it to fill in that crack in this foundation. And it was, you add a little water, make sure it was liquid enough to get all the way down there, and I chipped it down in there. Anyway. Hey guys, how you doing? How you doing? Craig here with my life on the Thai farm. And I've already been out and about, sweating bullets. But just, you know, my wife told me, don't work. But, you know, that's an impossibility, right? Or at least to some level. But I did, you know, walked around the house here, see what I can get into without too much effort. Although it's a bit humid today, so easy to sweat. And you know, these hibiscus, there's two. This one, I don't know, I guess it looks like it's maybe coming back. But they've been planted here for a couple years and they barely even grew. Bought them at the market and I thought maybe they would go big, but I've seen a number of people that have these where they just didn't grow big. I thought a soil change maybe down here where everything grows big, but I don't know. They might die. Been there for so long. If I rip it up. Hey, look. See nature. Hey, got away. This papaya tree right here. This papaya tree right here grew because we chucked some of the food scraps out the window up there. So it you know, it grew naturally. Is my lens clean? When I walked around over here, I saw that these two trees that my wife planted some time ago. Well, now I don't know if you can see it from here, but you know, they're going out this way. They're growing towards the house, and that is because obviously because the bamboo, you know, the bamboo blocks the sun, so the trees are really just naturally growing towards where their leaves can get the most sun, because the bamboo goes over this way. And we've trimmed the bamboo back. I don't really want to cut it all the way out or anything, but the trees are already on their way that way, which is not good because the closer they get to the house, you know, the bigger chance something will jump over and get in the house, you know, snakes, rats or whatever, tree rats. Speaking of another tree, she planted these too, and this one has actually taken off pretty good. Nice, but it's blocking my Longquian there, and I can't really move that from that spot without great difficulty. So I think I'm gonna, maybe if I can move that tree or trim it, I'm just walking and talking here today, or this portion anyway. Last night I cooked up my wagyu tri-tip in my sharp convection oven. Came out pretty good, man. You want to check it out? Want to check it out? Check it out.
Yeah, the wagyu tri-tip. Look at that baby right there. Oh my God. It's going right there in my belly. With a little coleslaw from KFC.
Yeah, that was pretty tasty, huh? It's delicious. And I'm also cooking this morning. Boom, my pizza oven. I'm actually baking it dry is what I'm doing, because this whole area has gotten, you know, from all the wet dampness, it's gotten mold and stuff, and you don't want to dry things up around here, even though it's still in the rainy season. It's gonna rain like a bitch probably, but you know, I felt like I needed to dry that up, man, before it got totally worse. But I don't want to breathe that smoke because it's cooking mold or whatever. We don't want that. Yesterday, or was it yesterday? Yesterday or the day before, you know, we have our annual temple blessing or whatever. Everybody contributes, and so we let the guys come over here the other day in a truck, and they threw the net. We fed the fish, so they came so they could get a good catch. They used their net and they used our net. We got two big old things of fish to donate to the temple, because you know that's what you do here. And but it was a nice haul, man. That was like, shoot, almost 50 pounds of fish. Pretty cool. And funny enough, like the next day or maybe the day after or whatever, because you know in the morning the loudspeakers go off. Not all the time, but loudspeakers go off and, you know, talk stuff. Blah, 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 this is happening, or this person died, or blah, 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 blah. And they talked about the you know, the temple preparations and stuff, and they gave a shout out to my wife for donating the 20 kilos of fish or something like that. My wife was working. She goes, "Oh, that's me." I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, man, there's still a million fish in here, you know, in that pond. Not a million, but, and with the rains, the my black tarp over there has managed to hold up pretty good. It hasn't fallen off of there. A water blast. I had some of those what do you call them, the mud ant kind of trails on the inside of the house over there. I've seen those in other videos. Anyway, I water blasted those off there this morning. So what else? I need a good water blaster, man. You gotta, you know, these kind of things. I'm gonna turn this fan on. Oh my God. There you go. Yeah. My little hand water blaster is great for blasting off the little mud nests and stuff under the house and that kind of thing, around in the windows or whatever. That's perfect for that. But if I want to blast cement or concrete or whatever, that's not enough, man. I have my compressor, but even that is not enough. I need a compressor that's like 3 times the size or something. That compressor is perfect for, you know, spray lacquering and all that. Maybe some tools, you know, blowing my air gun and stuff like that. That's why it was only like 2,500 baht or something. check it out. Can you see that? You're tripping, man. Life's little enjoyments. Oh, speaking of little enjoyments, let me see if I can open this Pepsi. There you go. Oh yeah, yesterday, as a matter of fact, yeah, that was yesterday, but we were gonna go out to, and we went out to try and find a friend's resort. Actually, the people who, the company who built our knockdown house, main house, green guy over there, we saw them at the market, and they had recently shared that they, you know, were building a resort out in land they had out, you know, not that far from here, but it's a you know, 20-30 minute drive over towards Wang Chao, and we went out there and we found the place, and it's just a gorgeous view. You know, it's all valleys and hills with the farmland and stuff, and so they're getting there. I didn't take the camera with me because actually we didn't plan. We planned on. We went, where'd we go? We went into town for some. Oh no, we went to the bank because I was transferring money from Wise to my bank like I normally do, and they wouldn't go through. And Wise was like, nope. I mean, it said yes, and then it came back real quick and said, no, we're not doing that, cancel. I'm like, what the hell? I do it all the time. So I did it again, and they said, nope, cancel. And they said it was my bank on this side, that the details didn't match. It didn't match. It's been 4 years. I've been doing it every month. What's the deal? So we went to the bank to see if you got any problems? And they checked everything, because you know there's a lot of issues with Western banks right now, or at least the ones that are the new accounts, because the ones that are sponsored for retirement money and all that stuff. Anyway, that shouldn't be an issue with mine. I've had mine for the one account we've had for 20 years or more or whatever. And so they were saying, nope, nothing. So I don't know about that. But now you can't do anything because Wise, you know, they'll say, oh, you got to wait 3 or 4 days for the whole transaction and process to clear itself and refund itself or whatever. I ain't worried about it. I've still got another pension. And I mean, I could take the money out just through the ATM, but we don't need to do that right now. But anyway, so we said, shit. So we're coming back. We're going to come back home. And I said, well, let's keep going. We'll go, you know, it's 11 o'clock, about maybe lunchtime. We'll go down here, one of these, on the way to Klong Lan, maybe one of these roadside, you know, Quitio places, get some lunch or something. A nice little drive because it was real sunny yesterday. All right, so we drove, and then along the way, my wife was like, oh, shoot, that's right, you know, so-and-so's resort. Let's, like that. Let's go there. Okay. So we drove, and we're watching, or she was watching the GPS. And there's really, I guess there's like 2 ways to get to the resort. There's like this way, and then there's, you know, that way or whatever. Anyway, we went like the way that took us through the farmland, and the road just sucked. So big old potholes, boom, boom, boom. But, you know, I couldn't haul ass because they were deep, but it was cool because there's like, you know, there's a million little farmer houses and stuff, small villages, so it was pretty cool. We just went slow. Finally, it got to where it looked like it was almost like the end of the road, but it was dirt. And then I was looking down the hill, like, and I go, and there's mud and stuff. And I go, well, it looks like there might be cement on the other side. So it's okay. So I got through it, went to the other side, and no, it wasn't really cement. It was just, I don't know why it looked like that. Maybe the sun or something. But anyway, we wound up going down a dirt road, and I had to switch to 4-wheel drive because there were those big old mud like you're looking ahead and you see it's water, and you got mud tractor, or you get look like tire tractor, you know, marks going through the mud the other side and stuff like that. But I'm like, well, how deep actually is it? You know, so I have to get out of the truck and I walk over there, break a stick off on the side of the road and walk over there and kind of do this or whatever. And it looked like it was okay, so got through that, and then there it comes out to a big old reservoir. And we're like, oh, this is cool. And then it's in the hilly area and stuff, so it's really kind of gorgeous, you know, it really looked cool. We're like, oh, this is cool. And so we wanted to stop. My wife took a couple pictures, I think. But so the GPS was like U-turn, U-turn, U-turn. And my wife kept saying, it's saying U-turn, man, U-turn, U-turn. And I'm like, well, this isn't the easiest place to U-turns. I'm right on the bank of the reservoir. The water's like, you know, lapping up to where the road is almost. And that side is like mud as well, whatever. And so I'm like, no, let me see that. So I'm looking at the map, because I'm looking across the reservoir, and I see, you know, like a what do you call it, like a dam road or whatever, you know, a nice level road. I go, well, that's a road over there, and it looks like it's coming out to that end of the reservoir. Let's just keep going. And we're like, all right. So we kept going, and it was more and more mud, and I had to, like, you know, I would say, well, we're just gonna have to, I don't want to get stuck spinning in the mud, especially we're out, it's in the middle of farmland. So I would just haul ass and bounce right through it, you know, which was fun. I got through it, and then I go, wait a minute, I see a truck. There's some, you know, civilization or a truck. So we got up there, and it was just like these 3 or 4 guys that had their pickup trucks parked near the reservoir, and they each had like about 5 fishing poles that they were, you know, fishing in the reservoir for. So, but we went creeping by them, and it kept going, and then again she's going, dude, it's still saying, you know, U-turn, U-turn. I'm like, god dang it. I go, it can't be. So I'm looking at the GPS, and I see that the road actually goes like this around the reservoir. And so then I knew that the GPS was probably thinking this was the U-turn. And so I was like, look, honey, I think this is U-turn here. This is like a U-turn. Let's just keep going. So we kept going, wound up kind of going uphill after the U-turn part, and then it came out right at the resort. But going through that area was really cool, man. It was all beautiful, and even the resort looked out this way, and the reservoir was down this way. But down by the reservoir, there's this huge, looked like an old growth teak hillside forest with, I don't know if that was a temple there or what, but it was pretty cool. I'm like, oh man, this would be awesome to have a house right here. No power though out there, I don't think. But anyway, yeah, it was awesome, and we got through it. Nobody was at the resort, so we kind of looked around. My wife took a little bit of video and stuff, and then we took the other way home, and we're like, oh, we should have came up this way, man. Could have went just regular road right to the resort. But then we stopped at on the way home, we stopped at this place to eat that we had stopped at once before when it was like new. Now it's obviously a couple years old now, and they moved over to the right over a little bridge they had built, and it's delicious. But yeah, anyway, that's what we did yesterday. But we'll go back there. That'll give me an opportunity to take my camera, because actually that's what I was saying, with that view and all that, would have been perfect for the drone, man. And being sketchy on a dirt road like that, muddy and all that stuff, not being able to see, I could have easily sent the drone up and said, oh, looks like it's perfect, you know, go that way, no problem. But my truck is full of big mud, so I gotta go water blast that at the car wash place today. mine, and also I broke my water thing for the hose, throwing it down or whatever, dropping it, so I gotta buy a new one of those. Oh, and hey, for those of you who watched my Social Security video on the 7162 form, being the 7162, 63, I think, or the SSA-71, which is like change of address. 7162 is proof of life. Anyway, those forms have been, I was trying to remember if it was 61 and 63 or anyway, but this 7162 form has been added to the list of forms now that you can attest to, meaning that you can call it in and have them fill it out by attesting. I swear, you know, blah 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 blah, yes yes yes, no no no, or whatever. And so I'm like, oh cool. I mean, I attested to it last year, but that was just kind of something that was going on or whatever. Now August 27th it was official, so I called, was it yesterday? Yeah, I called yesterday to see if I could attest. So I called the FBU unit in Manila, and I called, and it rang, and then it went to the voice menu, and I waited to hear representative, but it didn't give me a representative. You know, it does give you the option of, oh, press 4 for more options or whatever. But usually I wait till it ends, and then if it says representative, it'll ring and I'll get the representative. But it didn't, so I hung up and I called back. And then as soon as it picked up, like before it could even probably talk on the thing, I pressed 4. And then it just like rang once, I think, and the girl picked up. And I said, hey, yeah, I'm calling because, you know, I want to attest to my 7162 form. And she's like, yeah, you know, we can't really do that. And I'm like, what? And I shared with her, because I had it open on my computer, I shared with her that the recent changes under the POMS, the policy manual, whatever, the number, blah, 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 and I read her, this is what it says, these forms, and she goes, okay, hold on. So she, got back and said, and she goes, yeah, okay, we received that on 28, because, you know, 27, 28, same day, right? She goes, and we understand that that the attestation is, the rule is in effect. She said, however, because all of the forms were sent out in May, June, or whatever, we're going to be waiting for the attestation, because we're waiting further guidance from SSA regarding the attestation. So we will not be able to do the attestation, you know, currently. So even though it is a rule, it's not being done at the FBU right now. She said, I am aware that, you know, many countries have stopped sending mail to America, so you can't send the mail. You can't send the forms you may have received or may receive back to America. So we're also, our guidance has informed us that you can all send the form to us. So the 7162 forms can be sent, if you have them or get them, they can be sent to the FBU Manila, which normally you couldn't. You would send it to America. Manila didn't want them, unless they specifically told you to send it to them, like they did once for me in an email. But anyway, so now the guidance is, have all those people send them to you, you know. And she goes, and literally we will get thousands, because, you know, we're 43 countries, including Australia and New Zealand, as serviced here in the Manila FBU. So, you know, you can send it registered so that you know it reached us, but we're not going to be able to confirm to you that it got back, or that they actually have it. So they're waiting for the guidance, and then, you know, October is when they're supposed to send another form. So she thought, or I mean, I said, I go, well, what do you think? Do you think, you know, by next month you'll be able to attest? And she goes, maybe, you know, maybe after the date we normally, before we send the next forms or blah, blah, blah. And so, I don't know. All I know is it's kind of like back to normal thinking, which was if you get your form, you know, get it to America via courier or something like that, so you don't have to deal with U.S. mail, or now send it to FBU. And if the shit hits the fan later, you know, they're gonna have to let you attest to it, especially if you're under suspension. I think she said, that's what she said. She said something with respect that, you know, you can't attest to it right now because it doesn't say suspension. So if you are suspended, but you won't know that until after the first week of January, probably, when it says suspended in red. Anyway, the saga continues with the 7162. But it will be a small blessing to just call that in. Although I don't know how they're gonna handle, you know, 43 countries worth of expats making phone calls. Hey, I want to attach that form. It only takes 3 minutes maybe for them to do that. But, you know, there's only, what's that, 3 minutes. So 10 people, that's 30. 20 people, that's 60. 8 hours in a day, or actually, yeah, whatever, 8 hours in a, no, actually, that's right, wait a minute. Well, currently, remember, the FBU Manila only takes phone calls from 8 to 11, Tuesday, Thursday. That's 6 hours. So if they are, in fact, not staffed only for 6 hours, with the possibility of taking an attestation for a total of 6 hours in a week, then that is 20, 236, 120 people that they could maximum 120 people that they could test to. That's accounting for every single minute and all that. So they'll be lucky in 1 week to get 100 people. And they're currently, what? I don't know, 70,000 people living abroad over here. Yeah, good luck with that. But it worked for me. I got right in on that second. You know, as soon as they got the voicemail thing or the voice menu going, bam, hit number 4, they picked it up. That was my news from the front line here in Thailand. I did have some ideas while I was sleeping about what I was going to do today. Hey, bird. That is a weaver. Just coming over to say hello. Thinking about making a new house, maybe. Moving in. All right, man. Well, hey, let me see what I can get up to. I gotta go check on my pizza oven, see if it doesn't burn to the ground, and I'll get back at you. Hey, yeah, I remembered what I was thinking of when I was sleeping, and that was the gutter, or not the gutter, but you know, remember the rain was coming off the edge there, right? So check it out. Boom. I can't really attach a gutter to that. It's too lightweight. A gutter would, especially full of water, would just mess it up. As it is, I need to put another bar. But anyway, so this piece of tin, which is actually this, it was old cut off from orange, yeah, from that roof, but it had been laying over there in the sun and the water, so it got, you know, lightened or whatever, faded. Anyway, so this piece was scrap. It was laying there. It was a little bit too long, so I cut this section off to where it's right exactly in there. All right, and to the end,
And then it's also, you know, right in the middle for this water to fall. I don't have it secured here yet, which I probably need to do. Maybe I can do that with my nail gun. Maybe just one there, and then that'll probably be enough. And I think it's going to run off this way. I need to probably get another piece of this, if I have it laying around, put it under here, square that up a little bit, or so it has more support. But that is definitely the solution to that, which is a solution to it running in there, so I won't have any more of this being, you know, falling away, so to speak, because I can't leave that plastic there forever, right? Or maybe. But yeah, so that's good. This side over here doesn't seem to have an issue. I mean, it falls down here, but I'm not having that issue because I still have a long ways to go, and this is a normal embankment, so I don't really have the runoff issues that I do over there with the landslide and the deck moving. I don't think the deck moves on this side. I have a lot of cement. So actually, it was taller on this side too, the way I filled it up with cement. Probably all right over there. The fields are all full of water now and tilled in. My neighbor's fields. So yeah, that was something I just did. I thought of that. I remember dreaming about that or something. And because I was like, oh wait a minute, I have that stuff. Or no, maybe yeah, because who was it? Somebody, one of my subscribers in the comments said, dude, I don't know if it was Tom Yum guy or was who it was, but anyway, he said, dude, you need the gutter, and barely dug that, which was true, but I can't have gutter. I can't have gutter up here because that's only got 3 bars and 10, and it teeters from the pulley, so I can't, you know, can't be doing that. So the runoff from this solution has to be, I think it's going to be the deck. Either way, even if I fill this all up with cement down here and all this other stuff, it'll be the deck that'll be maybe sloped slightly, so any runoff that hits the deck will run off. Yeah, that sound cool. So what else? I don't know. It's all right day. I feel like I do have some power. Hasn't rained or anything. Maybe I could do some rendering. I need to render this last wall, man, so I can move on with the interior. Anyway, oh, my flowers that I planted along here are blooming for about the 10th time. They tend to just boom, a couple days, I guess, and then they die, and there's nothing, and all of a sudden, cool. I'm hoping the idea is that this whole area will fill with that grass, and it'll be just one big bush of yellow flowers, you know, trying to do their thing or whatever. What do I got here? What kind of tree is that? That can't be is that a no? I think there's a couple different kind of, probably the same tree, 2 different parts growing out of it, but same one. Oh, that's right, I knocked that wheel off of there. Where is it? Oh, thought I knocked it in the water. I gotta get my I had that just braced up there when I had to take that. This is the run. Maybe I didn't, you've seen this already. This is the one I made, right, so that this would go in. But you can see how close it is to the edge there. It's still a problem, but it was up there, so I couldn't lay this on there, and then I took it off. I took that off of there.
and that came off with it. All right, man. Well, hey, it's still working here on the Thai farm. So let me get to work. Back at you. Well, I got the first batch done. I think, oh my God, it's kind of wet, but I think I need it to be wet. I want it to, you know, I mean, I wet this a little bit, but I want it to suck it up, maybe into the cracks. Yeah. Okay, let's do it. Let's get busy with the rendering. Whew. All right, man, back at you. Well, I just kind of finished up that corner, and I just heard a big like, and my wife going, oh. So, but then she called me and stuff, so I don't think it was her. Holy shit! Remember, you know my A-frame house over here, right? My camp house. Holy shit, I heard it, man. Oh, I hope it's not too fucked up. Dude. Oh my God. Dude. The A fucking fell right through. Oh my God, the whole deck and everything. Imagine if I was camping up there. Oh my God. Yeah. But you know, the A-frame for the most part is still intact because I made this out of metal. Looks like that popped off over there. That's probably, I can probably save that tin. This one just a corner. Yeah. Didn't rip the lights. Stretched it a little bit on this one. Maybe I should undo that. There you go. Take the tension off of it. But the beams, I know what it was. The planks are fine. So what it was, if y'all remember, the beam underneath, not every one of them, but they were rotting. And I had put the metal, I replaced two of them with metal. Right there. And, well, that's right, that's 3, but, shit, man. Well, that's definitely something I have to prioritize. Well, I don't have to prioritize that. It's all right for now. I gotta finish rendering. But yeah, so when I replaced those two beams, because I had a metal L bracket on the horizontal beam, whatever, the one like this, and then I put the metal pipe up to it, and I had it sitting on top of that L, right on both ends, but I didn't come back and secure it. So either that came off, or you know, it was actually just before when I was videoing, I was showing the trees and shit before. I had walked through this way, and I checked underneath there, and I could see it was, you know, it was getting rot. I have to start thinking about what I was going to do, and I grabbed a couple pieces and kind of shook it and felt it, see if it was still solid. That's probably what did that. It gave way. Bam! I heard it, dude. It was loud. I should have had the camera going, but fell right through. But the good news is that it's just those cross beams that go in this way. The whole structure is still the same. The planks are still the same. it was just the underside beam. So I'm gonna make a metal frame. I'm gonna go metal. I'll make a metal frame, set that on top. A lot better. But dang, I might as well take this time and go eat my lunch. Then get back and I gotta sponge the rendering I just did. Right, bro? All right, man, let me get back at you. Yeah, well, that little cave-in's gonna have to wait. I gotta do this, man. Yeah, it's already starting to dry out. It'll sponge up nice. I gotta get a bucket of water. I did get new sponges. That's a plus. I did change my sweat shirt. Get it? Sweat shirt. Anyway, yep. The sun's starting to come out. It's probably gonna get even hotter. I'll probably go through another shirt. I wouldn't have changed it, but I went over here for lunch and I went into the aircon, so my shirt was freezing, so I had to change it. There you are, man. Birds are out there hunting for snails and fish and anything else that moves. All right, man, let me what am I gonna do? Get some water, get going here. All right, get back at you. Real quick. You know, I bought these. They come like in three sponges in a pack, right? I guess I got the wrong one because it's just one big sponge block, which I guess, I don't know, maybe that'll even work better. I never saw it before though, but I'll take it. Back at you. Okay, well, that's enough of that. Finito. Oh my God. And also, I just had just enough left over. I used it to fill in that crack in this foundation. And it was, add a little water, make sure it was liquid enough to get all the way down there, and I chipped it down in there. Anyway, just enough left to do that, so that must have been an omen, like it's gonna work. Oh, put this tarp. I got one more bag of render left over. For what, I don't know, but I'll figure something out. Oh my God. Well, oh, I gotta wash this off. Wash my cement bucket. And I think that's about it for today, because I'm done. The rendering, man, mixing. It was I think it was only 3 batches. Still, it was enough to kick my ass. Alrighty. Well, hey, man. One step closer. Now that I got cement all over my camera and my selfie stick. Whew. Oh, man, my eyeballs. All right then, hope you enjoyed all that. And yeah, that A-frame. All right, man, let me know what you think. Let me comment. All right, I'll catch you next time here. More work on the pond house from the Thai farm.